Welcome to Nerds Geeks in the Kitchen
Don't flood
Sink.
the intro when we
You,
have a
you
guest.
sweet little man. What is happening? Hey, this is Nerds Geeks in the Kitchen Sink. It's a podcast that's like hanging out at the video store. We have a. We have a.
I'm Chris, your other host.
Oh, hi. Improve if you feel like it. Did I say I was DK?
No.
Well, I am. And that's the truth part.
Yeah. The rest of it, you're Fetterman in it.
We have an incredible guest, the returning champion Bones from the 5-Day Rentals podcast. Hello,
Yay.
Bones.
Hello, dudes.
It's Bat Bones.
Bat Bones.
Hell yeah.
I really approve of your look. It's perfect.
Thank you. I want to do the show right. I want to do the fans right. I told you I have a middle school level of Batman knowledge, and I have done everything I can to just become your guys' Batman expert. Try to push my way in anything.
This is why I keep
related.
asking you back for Batman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been in a Batman mood lately.
Yeah, well, with the purple shirt, we're getting the Batman that laughs vibes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love.
He's
purple.
a weird guy.
Yeah,
I have a completely different purple Batman shirt, so that must be a thing. The smoke in Batman 1 is purple when she opens the thing and it says "Put the mask on now." And
then what was it with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones? The question mark is
Tommy Lee Jones was half purple.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
The bat thing was green and purple in that one. So,
but no buffoonery was sanctioned. I heard by that. So
yeah. Well, and I was quoting when Vicky Vale is like pretending to seduce Joker at the end, right? She's like, "I love a man in purple."
Right.
Yeah.
Kissing all up on him.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But we all know how that ended.
Yeah. I'm just walking around in this hoping a Vicky Vale starts making out with me.
Yeah.
Hoping a Vicky Vale will blue ball you at the end.
It could happen.
Well, I mean, it led into Mr. Freeze, so.
I guess it did. I guess it did. Hey, speaking of the Batman,
yes,
I want to talk about this just right off the jump here.
All right,
because I read this comic, I picked it up at my local comic. Okay, local is a 45-minute drive, but the closest one for me. Okay,
right.
Killins in the mall in Springfield, great place. And I grabbed this off the shelf and thought, oh, it's Mike Mignola. Batman, sweet, sign me up. And it's the Doom that came to Gotham. And I remembered that Chris had mentioned, oh, it's going to be an animated movie, right? What I didn't know was that this came out in like 2000.
Yeah.
Or 2001. I didn't know that. I was reading it like it's new.
It was real early.
And I was reading it going, why don't they, like, this is such a turnaround. Like, I love this. It's such an interesting choice to do with this universe. It's so clever and I love it. It's beautiful.
It's a great story.
Maybe DC's really turning it around. And then I find out this is 20 years old. If people haven't read this, they have recently reprinted it.
Yeah.
And the art is fantastic. It's written by Mignola, but not drawn by.
No.
But it still does really look like a Mignola thing. It's obvious that they used his style a little bit, which is what you want if he's involved.
Yeah.
Have both of you read this? Have either of you read this?
Yes, I've read it.
I haven't. No.
Hugely recommended.
Yes.
Last thing I read was Three Jokers, I think.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead, Nick.
Oh,
I'll just grab while I'm.
Well, show it. No, show it.
Oh no, I'm rereading.
Oh, did I give you that for Christmas or your birthday?
That was my birthday last year.
I just want to point out how charitable I am.
Okay.
Did we talk about it? Did you like that?
I did like it. I liked it a lot.
I know there's more of that either.
I know. I've got to go get it. Yeah, I've got like a list on normally where I go. So
it was recommended to me a bunch, and I thought, oh, maybe Chris. This sounds like a Chris thing.
Yeah.
So
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
And good beginning. It's a little slow at the very beginning of it, but once you kind of figure out the storyline and where it's going, I can tell that I'm going to like the future volumes of it.
And for audio only listeners, that was the Nice House on the Lake.
Yes, sorry.
Volume 1. recommended by Chris and probably fuck you, probably me. But I'm also recommending, this is so good. It is such an interesting and different take. I started to watch the animated one and I don't like it. This is the way to go. Read the damn thing.
Yeah.
The animated, I don't like the voices. I thought the animation felt cheap to me. I have a real hard time with the DC.
It doesn't have the
stuff.
same feel as the book, the artwork.
No, and it doesn't. You're right. When they put it in motion, it does not have the same vibe. There's some beautiful stuff in here, and they really lean into the mysticism angles of Batman.
Yep.
That stuff's always been there, but it's always like every once in a while you get like a Ra's al Ghul,
right,
or a demon character, or
you'll get
whatever.
A one shot, or like a 2 or 3 volume story, or something like that. But it's there, but it's never.
Right, exactly. Well, this has such an interesting version of Batman. He's been on this like expedition for like 20 years, and that's like his, I guess that's sort of his like becoming the Bat journey. Yeah. And he's on the boat. He's on this boat for a long time, and there's like the Thing sort of beginning to this, and Penguin's like a real penguin guy. Like, it's crazy.
It's almost like what it would be like if it was more mysticism, like after Batman Year 2.
Yes, exactly right. And so you're going to see a lot of names you recognize and familiar characters, but they're going to be totally sort of different, a twist on that version of the character. And sometimes they come along and they do that, and it really annoys me. But in this case, it just seems so well plotted out and so well conceived. You just can't go wrong. I really recommend. I'm going to read it again. I really liked it. So, big time recommend.
Yeah, I miss the late 90s, early 2000s, because they really took some chances, but they had good stories. Mm-hmm. I'm absolutely fine with, books taking chances as long as the damn story is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons I've had some issues with a lot of the recent decade and stuff.
Right. Also, I read this a while ago, but someone I was recommending The Doom That Came to Gotham to someone else.
Right.
And they said, that sounds cool. Have you read Batman 100? Year 100. Have you read Batman Year 100?
I don't think so.
I haven't even heard of it.
It's like mid 2000s, I think, is when it came out. I read it before, like when it was brand new, and I didn't really remember that much of it. But the art is like just do a quick Google and you'll see he's like more animalistic. It's almost like Batman meets Dread in a way, like not quite Dread. I don't want to go that far, but it is an interesting version of the future for Gotham and Batman. And I like the way it's drawn. It's kind of messy. And the story it's memorable for sure.
I mean, anytime you say that, it just reminds me of the Batman Judge Dredd comic.
Yeah.
Which that's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some of that, but I never actually read the whole thing.
Oh, I've
leafed through it.
That is an awesome.
I should put that on my list. I've been in a Batman mood. So yeah, and I know I don't know. I never thought, I don't know. I kind of felt like I don't want to say done with Batman because I've loved the movies. Right. And I'm such a huge fan from way back, but I just haven't been that into the comics lately at all. Like I'm talking like since New 52, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
I've just kind of not been reading hardly any DC. And certainly not any Batman. I was just like, what's going to be new in Batman world? Blah. Well, I've been having some real good times with Batman lately.
Well, and it's all nostalgia stuff. I mean, let's be honest. Early to very early to mid 2000s was some decent individual one shots kind of thing, and then pre obviously because you get into things like Nightfall and and the epitome of Batman stuff like The Killing Joke and those kind of stories. So and some people like King storylines with Batman. I have not had very much favorably to say, shall we say? But there's always the old stuff. That's what they always say. There's always back issues. So.
Yeah, there's always something I haven't read for sure.
Right.
There's just a
Yeah.
million of them.
Well, I know I've read a dozen things since Court of Owls, but it was the last great thing that I read. So that's what sticks.
I think I would agree.
You know?
That was the last one for me that I was really like, oh, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So thanks, Doomed It Came to Gotham.
You mentioned you weren't a big fan of the animation adaptation, and I've been sitting here racking my brain. Is there anything that you guys that you were familiar with the text and then watched the feature and then preferred the feature? Because I'll tell you, I didn't really dig Dark Knight Returns when I was younger. I didn't like that adaptation of it, like that interpretation of him. But watching the animated, maybe because I was older, but it clicked with me then a little better.
I think the Dark Knight Returns, the animation, did the story justice.
It's appropriate.
I think it really did it justice compared to some adaptations, and I think
it's the art style of the original. A little more, that's why,
right? Well, but it brought it a little more to life of some of the things that were kind of brushed over, I think, in the book.
Yeah, and I feel like
Doom kind of filled in a few spots.
Way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. But for me, I almost as a joke said Beowulf.
Mind you, good animated movie. Okay.
I mean, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I'll defend it.
Yeah.
I had fun with it, I guess. Yeah. I haven't seen it since the theater, to be honest, so I don't know. Maybe it's great.
Especially for the time and the way what the animation was. I think if you go back at it, you may look on it a little more fondly.
I should do that. I should do that. I'm trying to think of comics, though. Nothing is. There were some things like, for example, with the Sandman show, there were some things that I thought they knew how to tell you better in the show. I wouldn't say the show is better than the comic, but there were some things that I thought like translated better. They worked better in motion.
I think some visuals. I don't,
and some story aspects too.
There weren't many of the story aspects I thought did better in that, but some of the individual visuals, like hell, the gates of hell, kind of thing.
So cool in the
and
in
little
the show,
shots of. There's just the one shot of them standing in an archway in the rain. And that was awesome to see it kind of in motion.
When it's Dream and the cat or the crow or whatever his name is, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, there's just that shot of them, that conversation.
It's like right before they go in to see
brought
Constantine.
That panel to
Okay. Yeah, I said Constantine.
It's not the real one, so yeah, you could say
that. Yeah. There was a trailer for Good Omens season 2. Did you watch the trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I haven't seen it either.
So,
would you recommend first season?
It was fun. It depends on your acceptable level of whimsy. It is a very whimsical, very British thing.
See, I am more inclined to like Good Omens than I am inclined to like the new What We Do in the Dark.
What We Do in the Shadows?
Or Shadows, I mean.
How are they related?
Whimsy.
Oh, whimsy. You think What We Do in the Shadows is whimsical?
Yeah.
What about it? Like when Laszlo says, New York City. What is it? What's whimsical about it? The doll that talks?
Yeah.
Chris is just so dark that show seems whimsical to him.
What the? I don't know what you mean.
I do. I'm sorry.
I don't understand the whimsy.
I mean, just the whole like, oh, have you seen the previews for the new season?
Yeah, it looked fun as hell.
And
you don't think so?
What
the fuck, Chris?
Sorry.
I don't understand. It's my favorite comedy that exists right now, for sure, easily. I could just watch the Laszlo scenes alone. Matt Berry is like my personal hero. He's very, very good. Pronunciations alone.
I was hoping he would do some promotional work for the new Queens record because he's done it in the past. There's a
Has
really
he
great,
really?
yeah, there's a really great video of him touring the studio.
Oh my God. I need to see that for sure.
That you should look up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's him and Steve Agee, maybe.
Oh,
And
what?
he's definitely doing like he's putting on the pronunciations and acting the total ass, and they're all going along with it. Yeah.
The best. Well, I know that he was Josh Homme was in Matt Berry's TV show Toast of London.
Oh, was he?
As like an asshole.
Okay.
It was pretty funny. So I know you like Queens and Homme, so like maybe check out that show. It's fun.
I'll see that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny show. It takes a little while to get going.
Is it on Netflix still?
It was, I mean, when I watched it, but that's been 5 years.
Okay. I think we started it, and then at one point, that might have been when we started, I had to shift over to Ted Lasso for her.
Well, and it's easy to lose. It's easy to lose that one early because I would agree that it's maybe quality wise up and down in the first season, maybe.
Okay.
But from there on, it's pretty good. I would definitely recommend it. There's an episode where he falls in love with John Hamm.
Easy.
It's very funny. Yeah.
He's in the next season of Fargo, apparently.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wait, Hamm or Barry?
Hamm. I wish Barry was in it. But
Hamm's in Good Omens too. Also.
Yeah. Hamm is in the first one, and he's the one's pornography. Yes, I'd like to see where you keep your pornography. Something along those lines. Anyway, Good Omens, very whimsical, very fun show about the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's one where I think it was so faithful, the adaptation. You could do either way. You could read it or you could watch it and get pretty much the same. I think maybe people would argue with me, but I really think
it was really close. Yeah, it was really faithful to it.
Is there further source material, or are they writing their own stuff?
Well, it's written by Neil Gaiman, but the first one was co-written by him and Terry Pratchett, who's since passed away.
Right.
Okay.
So it's going to be 50% original writing staff, 50%. Well, I don't know about percentage because there's probably a bunch of people in that writing room, but you know what I mean? Half the original creator is there.
Oh, so it's not based on a previous work.
It's based on the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was written by those two.
Okay. Gotcha.
But the second season, it's been
right.
It's additional.
If that's what you're asking, I completely misunderstood you. No, the new season is uncharted territory.
Okay.
But a fun watch. It's just an easy watch. You're not going to be stressed out after the episode's over. Like if you're watching, I don't know, Breaking Bad or something, you're going to be fine. It's a fun show to watch, and you're going to be delighted by the things you see in every episode.
Yeah.
Well, what's next on our list here?
Hey, we got a streaming date for John Wick. So September 26th.
Is that like to digital, or is that like on a specific service?
Well, it's going to be exclusively on Stars, but then it'll be on VOD and physical. It's all going to be starting on the same day.
Stars.
I know.
It's like $3.99 a month, man.
Yeah.
It's like the last service I'll cancel.
I've heard you say this before.
Yeah. They got Denzel movies and
They screwed Ash versus Evil Dead though. And so for that I can't love them anymore.
But it's got the back episodes on it. So
I have the DVD Blu-ray box set. Thank you.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's always better to buy physical copies.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but you might have been in a really small percent of people that actually stayed up with Ash vs. Evil Dead. Whenever I hear somebody mention a show that they watch on Stars, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I only had it for that show. And then when they stopped the show, I said, okay, see you later. Somebody
mentioned Outlander the other day, and I was like, I think Chris is the only other person I've heard mention Outlander.
Yep.
Or like that whole Power book. extended universe that they have on there.
that what was it, Ghost and all that. Yeah.
Somebody must be watching it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay.
Power book?
I think it's the Book of Power.
Yeah.
And then they have like different chapters, which are different seasons following different people, but they tie in. It's like
drug dealers and gangs and yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I've never heard of it, but okay.
But
that proves your point.
Honestly, I know what some of them are, but other than Outlander and Ash versus the Evil Dead are the only two series that I really probably watched significantly on Stars.
You say Outlander?
Outlander.
Oh, I thought you said Outlander.
Well, I was doing a little bit of Sean Connery.
Highlander. Oh, I went into a little Liam Neeson there.
He's the obvious choice. He's the obvious choice to play him in the remake, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to watch that. I'd really like to watch that.
Pedro Pascal and Liam Neeson.
It would have to be. I've been doing this thing at work where I pretend to be Liam Neeson, calling to report accidents involving fictional characters.
Okay.
Call an ambulance. I've been involved in a head-on collision with Lightning McQueen. That kind of thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Lightning.
His last words were "ka-chow." I don't know. I don't know.
Did your wife slip you some edibles in your hamburger or what?
No, she didn't.
You should record about 45 of those and then mix them over a track.
Oh no. People no.
Who would listen? Action theme track.
Well, okay. Are you guys I need to bring this up, and I probably have before, and if you guys have already heard me talk about this, we'll just move on. Are you guys aware of the phenomenon of him peeing his pants in public?
Yeah, because his dick's so big he can't control it.
Just I don't know what it is.
Falls out. Yeah.
That's where that whole thing came from, because there was a joke about him calling to report a terrible accident and like coming up with a reason why his pants were all wet. Anything but what it is. Anyway, this is dumb. Let's move along.
I love it.
Get me the police. There's been a terrible accident. Hey, there was a trailer for Kraven. Do we want to talk about Kraven?
I almost said, speaking of terrible accident.
Dude,
I heard.
Does he only do weird accents now?
Oh my gosh.
It must be.
Pulling it up?
I'm pulling it up. We will do a goddamn reaction video. Let me
not just a reaction video, a goddamn
reaction video.
Can I ask Chris, what do you know about this before we see the trailer? Do you know what's going on? Is this tying into anything?
This will tie into the Tom Holland Sony verse, quote unquote. It's Kraven origin story. And really, other than that, it's kind of they're doing a different twist on Kraven himself. So it's almost, instead of being the quote unquote typical hunter for the majority of his life and then going into hunting, Spider-Man and other people from what I saw from the trailer, it looks like, after the whole lion attack, he becomes almost a animalistic vigilante or hitman kind of thing and uses the animals.
This would have been the perfect role for
Steve Irwin?
No. Charles Bronson in 1979. Come on. I wanted to see like a deep fake.
Okay.
Imagine him in the outfit. He's jacked. He'd be perfect in the outfit, but he still has the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Just think about it. All right. Let me pull this up, and you guys should be able to see my screen in a second.
All right.
Oh, there we go. Share sound. There we go. Y'all see that?
Right. Yep.
I see the Kraven.
The Kraven. I'll be stopping it throughout. So here we go. So right off the bat. Oh, go ahead.
Born right there.
I was gonna say, so does he have, lion sense in compared to, Peter's spider tingle?
I think that must be what they're gonna do, right?
Okay.
He's sensing things in the street. He's almost like Daredevil style, like locating things by sound. It sounds like, or maybe scent.
Yeah.
Will we get a hot English girl to explain his powers to us? Like,
if we don't, they've done it wrong.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm sure at some point we will.
Okay.
Your blood has been infected with the blood of an ancient lion.
Yeah.
You're the ultimate hunter.
An Australian accent or an Australian actress pretending to be American, right?
Oh, yeah, that one too. Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably right. All right.
My son, never show mercy. They are prey.
The fast running didn't look that bad.
No, that looked better than some
we're
of the
getting
other
better
ones
at
I've seen.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
We are predators.
Hey, did he get serpent in the rainbow? Did you see that?
It kind of looked like it.
There it is.
Yep.
A predator.
It's just like all about God now, huh? It's like,
boys, your mother is dead.
She died because you sent her away.
She was weak, sick in her mind. You know my business, yes?
Yeah, he's the Pope's exorcist. Everyone knows.
Maybe the Pope's executioner.
Oh.
Okay, my only thing is he's heavily Russian, and there's no explanation for the mom. But the two boys speak like they've been, New York socialites for all their life.
Yeah.
And probably with their weak mother.
But that's not Kraven.
No, that's true.
So,
yeah.
I guess what's his face couldn't do a Russian accent. I mean, come on.
It's true. Why do
Bro
they
can't do a great Russian accent, but he still tried.
Yeah. It's true. It is strange that they would do that. Whatever. I think that's not something I'm going to die on a hill about.
No.
But yeah, that is part. The accent is kind of part of like his whole thing.
Right.
When I think of Kraven, that is sort of part of it. It's interesting.
Okay.
Also, he's got a brother there. I don't remember him having a brother.
Not that I can think of. No.
Does he become something else, like a giraffe or something?
Monkey
boy.
Power is about strength. If you show weakness, you will give our enemies an opening.
Okay, all I'm saying, that's a jacked ass lion. Holy hell.
It is. Yeah, I told you it's an ancient lion. It's a mystical, legendary lion.
Right.
You've played Red Dead Redemption, right?
Yeah.
It's those special ones. And you get a big reward.
I can't believe Crow doesn't have a slash across his face, because that was the lion that he's been like looking for forever.
Oh my God.
That would have been, yeah.
And
I can't believe that was missed. That's such a good observation.
He is weak, like his mother.
He couldn't kill a lion with his bare hands. What a weakling.
Yeah.
Leave him.
What happened that day?
I got to go back for a second. Put the glasses on him, and he's John Goodman from Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
What happened that day?
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
Tell me about this hunter. They say he uses a connection with animals to track his prey.
They say.
Hey.
Okay.
I want you on his list. There's only one way off.
The six of us.
Okay. You guys think this is linear? Do you think we open with a crazy action scene and then we cut back? We do like a Batman Begins sort of.
Yeah,
I can
probably.
see how that would, yeah.
Someone tells him that they're the devil and he's in hell.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he's separated for protection, but protection for them, not for him. These are deep cut Batman Begins
I was
references.
going to say.
There's only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.
I could see this scene
This could
being
be
the
it.
first scene of the.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, that's the coolest thing in the trailer, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be. That I'm surprised they let him do that in a Marvel thing.
In Sony.
I know, but still, I don't know. It just
Well,
seems
I
like
mean,
well, and plus this is like full
I-
of Wick.
I
you
think
know.
they're given a little more leniency now because I mean, hell, we dropped the F-bomb in Guardians, so
That's true, and this is going to be rated R. We know,
right.
and it is. We're in a post John Wick movies,
Yeah.
so that level of violence is more and more normalized.
Yeah.
So,
I think they missed a giant opportunity by not coming out the gate with Venom and Mobius. Like it, that's
Right.
just that should have been your
100%.
Wick was already out. That there was already a
Yeah.
market for that. You should have.
I mean, at least if they should have went R on Venom, the second Venom. And
They should have.
Morbius for
They
sure.
they fucked up from the beginning on Venom. I've said it
Yeah.
since then, and I'm going to say it forever.
Right.
They really made a mistake not being R. It's really sad, if you ask me. I think Venom has been done a disservice every time so far.
Yeah. Now I like the look of Venom better than any other.
Yeah, but what about the sound of Venom? A turd in the wind.
I'm not too bad with the voice of Venom.
The turd in the wind. Venom
Well,
wouldn't
but that's
say
a
that.
line. That's not the sound. Yes,
it
it's a
is.
stupid throwaway line, but
It makes me mad.
all right.
How is this tying in? You said this is the Holland Sony verse.
Yeah.
Okay,
So this is an origin. This will be an origin movie.
It's
And
weird. Are
there's-
they gonna make Kraven a hero?
I mean, that's kind of he's almost this anti-hero.
He fights Morbius
I mean,
in the
he's almost a Wolverine type guy in the way they're showing now, which
are they
I'm
gonna
like,
do like a Morbius Kraven Venom team up?
that I don't know.
Are they going to take every Spider-Man villain and try to make them a good guy?
Yeah. for
God,
real.
I hope not,
I mean,
Yeah.
we're what,
because I'm a little tired
3
of
for
it.
3 so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Michael Keaton is my favorite Marvel villain.
Vulture was probably the best.
He's pretty
He
damn good, man.
Is the
Yeah.
scariest by far.
Now, for Spider-Man movies overall, I have to say Doc Ock is probably my favorite, other than in this newest one, in the original Toby movie.
Right. Well, yeah, he's great.
But I mean, MCU wise, yes, I would say Keaton is probably the best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Keaton, he's got it. When he shows him the gun in the front seat of the car, I had chills. I had no doubt that he would use it. Oh my God.
Kraven just would have bit that kid's head off.
Yes.
Yeah.
My father puts evil into the world.
All right, that was 1 for 2 there.
Yeah.
That
That was a
pretty nice.
Deadpool shot.
I got to tell you, on my first watch of this, I didn't hate what's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I take it out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know that I've seen that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Other
seen that
than-
anywhere else?
Other than a John Wick movie.
Did Wick use a bear trap like that?
Oh, Bear Trap on the Head.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, the only thing remotely close would be Jigsaw.
That's the first thing I thought of, but it's like not even close.
Yeah.
Look at that fucking specimen there,
Dude.
though, dude.
Yeah. And he has
What
to hold the bear trap open as he's falling down.
Yeah.
He's
What a
so
life.
jacked.
What a
Oh my
fucking
God.
life.
Plus, he's got a sweet necklace with a tooth on it.
Mm-hmm.
He probably pulled it out of that big ass jacked lion.
Well, for sure. But what
That's
if it's
probably
the
what
end?
stuck
It was-
in him. Yeah.
It was in him. Yeah, you pulled it out of his ribs or
Or
something.
what if
Yeah.
it's like Morbius's tooth and they're in love?
Moving on.
That tooth connects him to the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're right.
Yeah.
You are exactly like our father. Just another man hunting for a trophy.
We're murderers. Isn't that what he taught us?
You don't get to do that to me anymore.
Mr. Taglin? Mr. Taglin? Where's Mr. Taglin?
Oh, you're standing in him.
All right. I like this.
That's a good line.
And then he's stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
Goddamn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
So he's got a list.
Right.
Was that guy in the convoy in the one
Yeah.
fight scene? Okay, so maybe he's because that'd be a cool place to start if you see
Right.
him just kill somebody, mark a name.
A Casino Royale.
Yeah,
Right.
Where you keep your gun.
a Kill Bill sort of list going on
Yeah.
that he's going through.
That could be fun.
I
And
like that you could hear that spear like pierce that guy over
Yeah.
the sound of the helicopter
Okay.
rotor.
It didn't. I don't think it was the spear. It just seemed like it was
Piece of pipe.
yeah.
in the hands of Kraven,
the hollow-
anything is a
yeah.
spear.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like a normal guy, it wouldn't work like that.
He's
He
now
didn't
made
know-
a wheelchair ramp inaccessible because he
Damn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
How do we feel about jumping off walls?
hate it.
I don't like it either. I really don't like it.
I mean, I would have been preferably something more of a parkour type of thing. You know, kind of a step kick, kind of not running
Mhm.
like an animal.
We could have
You know
done
what I
it so
mean?
much better than that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I think Charlize and Angelina, though, kind of ruined the wall run
Yeah,
To
well,
a-
yeah.
to a punch kick.
Mm.
Right? I mean, we sort of flooded the market with
Right.
badass chicks doing that.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. I just think the all four thing, it just doesn't make any biomechanical sense.
It
Right.
doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
But it's
No.
that mystical, you know, gamma infused blood, like the spider thing going, I guess.
Oh, are you saying it was like a Hulk lion?
Well, it was like a spider that bit Peter.
Well, you said
What?
gamma, and I got excited about
Well,
the
and
Hulk.
just whatever you want to, yeah.
What if it's a
They-
genetically modified lion that they hunt for like,
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
a hardcore
Oscorp.
hunter guy.
Oscorp.
That
put it
Oscorp
there.
Labs created, yeah.
Uh-huh. And it's for the ultra wealthy badasses. And
You know what? Sadly, we may not be that far off.
Honestly, we may have stumbled upon it.
Mhm.
Now, if he were to drop to all fours for the final little few feet there to then tackle him,
That's tactical. I understand that.
yeah, totally
then-
fine.
And that actually looked like what you would do to drop down and kind of go under somebody and then tackle. It didn't look as animalistic as those wall jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That
That looked a little more believable.
was my exact
Movement.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There is an animal in each one of us.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
I had already forgotten about the rhino reveal at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
I remembered that.
Because
Don't
that
you want to
guy's
know?
earlier in the trailer, right? He's behind his father.
Right.
I think it's the same guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's sitting in a giant VHS tape.
He just has longer hair. Oh, yeah.
And then we get this. There you go. I mean, that's classic Kraven. Notice here, there's more teeth on his necklace.
You know what I'm looking at? I'd love to
Hello.
take Take a shot off that luge, if you know what I mean.
Maybe the teeth thing are the people on his list.
I don't think those people had those teeth.
I mean, you yank them out from far enough into Runin, maybe.
No. They ain't human. I think they should sync him up with, like, if they're gonna bring Morbius back, which that seems impossible. But if they did, Kraven, Morbius, Venom could work together as something.
No, we just need to do the Punisher and Spider-Man and Kraven. That whole
we're never going to get
storyline.
I don't think that's going to happen in live action.
You never know.
In 10 years, Kraven will go into the multiverse, pull all of them.
Maybe sooner.
Yeah,
maybe sooner.
That's what
with
we do
everything going on. You know, who knows where the hell there's going, because there's still no real big. You know, everything Marvel has been and Star Wars has been pushed back.
Well, and this isn't even related to
and
that, really.
Well, no, but it is it says in association with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we got the kind of acknowledgement now that there is a symbiote in the MCU.
Right. And why did they jump through all the hoops to show us that?
You know,
the
and
symbiote
we've
came, but Eddie Brock didn't, because
for
legal
left
reasons.
It left it, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's dumb.
But
we can have a new Eddie Brock.
Yeah, well, or we can have Flash, and I hate to say this, Flash Thompson Venom.
Hey, he could do a Kumail and get jacked.
That's
for real.
But he's like 5'6".
He's the right age. Oh, whatever. It's Venom. He's going to be all CG anyway. What do you care?
Because if you know the Flash Thompson Venom, he's not always that. He's more of a military guy.
Mm-hmm. What if he goes into the military right after college?
Okay.
I don't know.
I know. But anyway, you know, I mean, we're getting some of that crossover, and with stuff like, you know, the whole Kang Dynasty thing being up in the air, you know, and Secret Wars coming out, they can almost do something that would kind of bring everybody, you know, the Marvel version of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I can't wait to see Morbius come through one of those portals in slow motion, like here to save the day. And then they cut off Thanos' head.
It's Morbid time.
I mean, yeah. And then Blade finally shows up and stabs him in the heart.
There's been a terrible accident.
Or we see him off screen. Yeah.
I just ran over Michael Morbius with my 1993 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep Grand Cherokee. So like the one
what the hell?
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been on the phone all day just dealing with nonsense. People want to hear this.
It looked like your forehead was talking.
It was. It's been this whole time. Hey, is there anything else before we get into the meat?
No, the only thing was kind of, you know, we're getting into this now, you know, what we're going to be talking about, The Flash. Kind of box office, like, kind of numbers this weekend. That The Flash, and I'll just kind of do what their opening weekends, because it wasn't a great opening weekend for The Flash. Domestically for The Flash on opening weekend, 64 million. That is low for a movie like this. Just because in comparison, opening weekend for Spider-Verse, in the same amount of days, 133 million. Transformers, that was even kind of like middle of the road to some people, 66 million.
So it beat. No. Did it beat Flash? No. Okay, I forgot what you said already. For
Transformers,
Flash.
yes.
It did beat Flash. What was the number for Flash again?
64.
So 64 to 66. Damn, they were that close.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 127 for the same amount of days.
And guess who spent less marketing money?
Yeah. Yeah,
For
way
sure.
less.
Yeah.
And then, when Disney, it seems like they're having, just as many issues. Elementals, a Pixar movie opens at $33 million for the weekend.
I don't even know what that is. Like, I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the newest Pixar movie from Disney.
Huh. Okay.
I think I saw a trailer before Dungeons and Dragons, and that was all
Yeah.
I saw of it. But
It's
personally,
basically kind of Zootopia with elements.
yeah.
Hmm.
Pixar's
Okay.
just don't feel special to me anymore. I feel
No.
like it used to be one every 2 or 3 years, and
They're
now
cranking them out. Mhm.
it's the opposite. It's the inverse. It's 2 or 3
Right.
a year, and
Yeah.
And let's be honest, they haven't tracked well and they haven't been good lately. I mean,
The last
You
one
know-
I think I watched was
Toy Story 4.
Coco in the theater.
is
I
Encanto one?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
No, I think
is-
Encanto's Disney. I don't
We
think
did
it's
see Toy
Pixar.
Story 4 in the theater, but I feel like that was years ago, wasn't it?
It was a while ago.
When was
yeah.
that? I don't know. We took Zora to see that early on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not
that's
I'm not a
bad.
Disney Pixar person, so this doesn't mean anything to me really.
Well, but I mean, for the fact that how popular, look at some of the Toy Story movies and
I don't really
just
like
like
them. Does that make me
Encanto
evil?
and no, but I
They're
mean
fine.
Encanto and Coco, how much those movies actually made on an opening weekend, and here the last, like, pretty much since the oh god, what was the one with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland where they were
Mario Brothers.
No,
The one where it's like a fantasy world and they have
yeah,
a van.
yeah,
That was the one right at the beginning of COVID, though, right?
right, right.
And they got their dad's legs or something.
Yeah, well,
I've only seen the trailer.
Right. They tried to bring him back, but the spell misfired and only half of him.
Was that good?
It
Did
started
anyone
with
see
an
that?
O.
Onward.
Onward, yes.
I don't know why I thought it was like Cranked or something. I don't know why I had the word.
That's a Jason
Cranked.
Statham movie
Yeah,
that's
right.
totally different.
In my
his
mind's
bottom
eye,
half is working in that one.
Pixar's Cranked.
in my mind's eye, the Dirk Diggler lights. It was Kranked.
I see that.
It said Cranked. Pixar's
Okay.
Cranked. Okay, we got the title. Let's
Yeah.
work backwards.
Okay.
Right.
What's Pixar's Cranked? Let's come up with it. What is it?
I think it's engineering, right?
It's a motorcycle movie. Like
Like Cars?
Cars, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. I was thinking something like in the world where it's like,
Or
A
robots.
sad story about someone's older brother who used to ride a motorcycle, and they
yeah,
have to go take a ride across the states to do
and it
something.
time travels.
Oh, and the bike is magical.
Yeah.
the bike is magical, but the world itself is like future tech. And this kid has a crank, and you use it to open this one, like the last little steampunky like
Mhm.
gate, right? It's like a real,
Or the
real,
motorcycle's old and it has the crank on it.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll be in touch. Pixar.
Well, it couldn't be any worse what they made the last few.
We've laid out 70% of it. All they need
Right.
now is a up and coming singer, maybe like a Billy Crystal type, who's like a Martin Short does the voice of a tire.
Right.
Yes. Also,
Lyle
the
Lovin
spoonerism
is
of
the
Martin
gas
Short.
pump. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nope. The spoonerism of Martin Short.
Right.
Short and Mort.
No,
I knew
it's
that guy in college.
it's Martin Short and Steve Martin. They're both the tires.
That's
they-
interesting.
They argue
Yeah,
with
that-
each other.
Yeah.
Shut up. You always get aired up first.
go
or some
around.
Right,
shit.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Okay.
Okay.
The
we've
kids
given
will-
72% of the.
Right.
The kids will love this.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's get into the movie.
Okay.
All right. I do have the wiki pulled up so I can read through.
Okay.
here's where the Flash spoilers will start.
Yes.
And let me tell you, listeners and viewers, there are a lot of things to spoil in this movie. If you're invested in the DC world, you probably don't want to have these things spoiled. I wouldn't normally do a warning this dire, but there are some.
But let's be
really
honest. If you're invested in this DC world so far, you're gonna be disappointed in about a year or so because everything you know is gone. So moving on.
Okay. So let's do general thoughts before we get into the storyline, right?
Okay.
Beat by beat. Who wants to go first? Chris, do you want to go first?
I can.
Okay.
If we could have made a Michael Keaton all movie, I would have been happy, and it would have been far better.
Oh, you think better?
Better.
Okay.
If we would have had Flash for about 5 seconds and all Michael Keaton Batman as the old man, I'd have been fine with it.
Interesting. I mean, I can't really argue with wanting a full Keaton Batman, sure. But this does scratch that itch and some other itches that I couldn't believe.
My dog slides his ass across the carpet to scratch an itch. That doesn't make it much better.
I don't like what you're saying to me. Okay. This is bullying. I liked it. I took my daughter, who's 10, and we laughed our asses off. We had a great time. I openly cried during some of the Batman stuff. I will admit it. The sheer amount of harp in the soundtrack, in the score, was enough to put me back into the hands of Danny Elfman in that Batcave in 1993 or whenever I was first watching it. Amazing. That stuff is incredible. They nail the Batcave. They nail the mansion. He's as good as ever as Batman. And I like Barry Allen in this movie, and I like both versions of Barry Allen in this movie. You can't have you don't want Barry Allen to be big, strong, macho man when Batman is and Superman is, and the other Batman is, and Supergirl is. You need Barry Allen to be a little different, I think. So that's what makes Barry Allen work.
But the Barry Allen doesn't have to be a complete moron, semi-autistic, annoying ass person to be different from all the other super chads.
But don't you think it's part of? I
haven't been able to stand him as the Flash since since Justice League.
Chris, it's them.
I have not liked this Flash at all.
Well, that's a personal choice. I can't really.
It is. I mean,
yeah.
And I get that, but I think he ruined the Batman movie that we should have been having, and that's just my personal.
But this was never a Batman movie; it's a Flash movie.
And there lies in the problem.
Okay.
No, and I mean, and honestly, this should have been a Flashpoint. If they were going to do it, this should have been a Flashpoint movie. Go full Flashpoint. We should have had Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce Wayne.
Right.
We should have had, Martha Wayne is a Joker. We should have had, all those things that could have made this movie great.
That would need to be.
But we got a movie that was no.
You don't think so?
No. You could have condensed the freaking movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We could have gotten all that in a condensed version and not had all that Barry story that half of it made absolutely no sense. I mean, it made sense, but it was senseless in the beginning.
Bones, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm coming down maybe in between you guys. So I didn't hate it. There were aspects of it that I really liked. I think overall, on my personal rating system, it'd be like a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tug of war of just the nostalgia power of Keaton's Batman.
The theme music alone.
Yes. And then on the other side of that, I have all the baggage of the DCU. It's the current slate that they did deliver us, and then where I know it's dead.
Yeah.
So to me, that kind of ties into like, what can you expect box office wise if you've announced to everybody it's all over after this?
It doesn't matter anyway.
What is the point? It's
right.
largely why I don't start a new series anymore. Why would I watch a new Netflix thing? Because if you cancel it, I've wasted a season.
Right.
Let me build it up a little bit. But yeah, man, if it was worth ticket price alone just to see that Batcave, just to get that atmosphere. And while I do think the kitchen fight was a little odd.
Oh, of course it is.
I did tell myself, like, well, this isn't the exact 89 Batman. Like, this is just like
don't forget the spaghetti.
He's one spaghetti over. So that's
it has
sort
to be
of
because
okay.
Barry's there. Yeah. But I kind of buy that fight too, because that version of Bruce Wayne is a weirdo. Like, he's more of a weirdo than any of them, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Keaton's the weird one.
Well, and I think that he kind of laid in a little bit of, remember in the second or third Batman movie, with Nolan Batman movie, that Bruce became kind of this isolationist, you know, and they kind of gave a little bit of a member berry sort of, you know, with that kind of mentality with, well, I've done everything I can for Gotham. So, you know, they kind of put that a little bit in his future Bruce Wayne from, you know, 89.
Yeah, like he succeeded.
I do think I like this version more than the Rises version, though.
Yeah.
Because this is like, it's optimistic. They didn't need me.
Yeah.
Alfred died.
It's the happiest version he could ever have.
Catwoman left me, whatever.
Right.
So I paint, I rock out to Chicago.
Yes.
And
I make spaghetti.
And he was fucking nuts. He admits it throughout the movie. So if he doesn't have an outlet, we're probably lucky that this is only as nuts as he is.
Right.
Yes.
So
if he doesn't go full blown, you know, Arkham.
And I love that you get that little scene with him stitching himself up.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking about.
His face is like, okay, I'm back. Like that little thing was awesome. So I agree with you, Chris. Like, I do wish there was more of that, but I also have to respect the fact that it's supposed to be a Flash movie. So
I mean, I get that. I really do, but just the CGI was horrendous.
Okay, let's talk about the CG.
Okay.
What the hell is up with the CG? I'm the most forgiving person in the world when it comes to bad CG. I truly am. You'll never hear me complain about it. This CG was weird.
It was god
beyond
awful.
Bad. It was weird.
I mean, you know, they tried to, you know, the director tried to defend it, saying, you know, well, this is the Speed verse, you know, Vision. I'm sorry, Quicksilver did it way better in X-Men movie. And it didn't look that bad.
If it just looks like that in the Chrono Bowl, I could maybe respect that argument.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to go, warning, I'm going deeper into the spoilers, people.
Right.
Yeah.
The Christopher Reeve CG was so bad. I think she might have even been worse when she flew up.
Well, the Henry Cavill one was bad.
Yeah,
well, Cavill was only in the Chrono Bowl, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
well, you saw him on TV too, but you didn't see him.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a tiny animated man.
Right.
But it started weird. I mean, that whole baby shower scene.
Is it just to get the pun in there? That must be what the whole thing.
Yeah.
I will
dislike the sequence. I didn't dislike the sequence, but I agree with you, Chris. Like the Quicksilver scenes play much better
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of with the baby shower is that maybe if they were like too realistic, it would be a little too harrowing. You know what I mean? Like that
But
might
it's
be tough
supposed
for
to
people
be.
to
That's
watch.
just it. There's
Well,
supposed to be a
I
dire.
understand that, but there's knives into these children's faces, and it is tough to watch as a parent.
I mean,
But,
the babies looked as bad as Twilight.
They looked so bad, like PS2,
I mean,
like
yeah.
Xbox graphics, like not good. I don't know.
That whole Snyder aesthetic, though, even when it's not a CG heavy scene, just him coming out of his like workplace.
Yeah.
The gray drabness of it. And it's not a volume, I don't think.
No.
I think it's just a true classic soundstage green screen.
Yeah.
And it all looks so flat and empty.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see the Batcave and you see Wayne Manor, it is mind-boggling because that's a real set. Like it doesn't make sense in the Snyderverse.
Right.
And it somehow makes it worse.
I can also agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I would, like, for example, I would still say of the superhero movies I've seen this year, I like Guardians 3 more.
Oh, way better.
100%.
But there were things in this movie that I will watch this movie forever for certain things. Most highest on the list being Keaton's Batman. But just below that, a series of insane cameos that I could not believe. And I guess some of those had been leaked. I wasn't spoiled. I didn't know any of them. Did you guys know what we were going to get?
I
knew
did.
But the last one.
I knew all of them.
I didn't know. Guys, I almost stood up.
Well,
and I don't even want to say it for people. Okay, listen, this is your last warning, listeners, viewers. Yes. I'm going to say something insane. That is a crazy spoiler. Here it goes. Nicolas Cage Superman. What? Incredible. It's such a, it's a well-known story that he was going to be Superman and it didn't happen, right. And the spider thing, and you get to see it.
It would have only been funnier moment if they would have played Wild Wild West while he was fighting the spider.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That blew my mind. I did love seeing Christopher Reeve Superman. Even though the CG was what it was. The very idea of him being there warmed me. And I grew up with that Batman and that Superman. So for me, it's like Superman in particular. I always connected with Superman. I've told the story. I'm adopted, so Superman. It's just one of those things where I always was like, oh, he turned out okay. Maybe I'm going to be okay too. It was just one of those things where I really connected with that character.
Yeah.
So Superman for me, almost as equal of a big deal.
And the only
particularly that version.
Yeah, the only thing with me with all that is there should have been a scene with Henry Cavill, as long as what there was of Christopher Reeves and the Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. It is weird that he wouldn't be there at all.
And that they wouldn't show anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that Barry was outside of his own timeline, there would have been another timeline that Henry Cavill was, doing something.
Mm-hmm. Well, except we know what he was doing in this timeline. Rip it in peace. Okay. Let's go through beat by beat.
But I will say one thing, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Do you know that the final scene was shot 3 different times?
Do you mean the final fight scene, or do you mean the Aquaman thing?
No, before that. The end of the movie. The last
when you
scene.
say you mean
at the courthouse.
Oh, with different actors?
Mm-hmm.
We'll
get into that at the end.
The one that they chose made me laugh out loud and weirdly, like, genuinely happy.
Yeah.
I've watched that movie a couple of times recently, and I kind of love it still.
And he was actually put in there kind of as just a nod and a joke from Gunn.
It's not Bones, you're going to say something.
I was going to say, so I watched this at the Alamo. The guy sat down next to me about 30 seconds before Alamo started the seriously, this is now a quiet zone. He sat down and said, "Are they like super strict?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "So if I talk or pull up my phone and shit?" I was like, "Yeah." And I wanted to say, "Yeah, and I'll personally
Yeah.
Like I
you in the
will
face, yeah.
call them like, don't say anything. And he's like, okay. Guy was super, super quiet and respectful the whole time. And when that actor got out of the car, he lost his shit. And I was like, totally acceptable.
Yes.
Totally fine.
Yes.
Like for the next 5 minutes, he's like, I can't believe they did that shit.
Yeah.
Can you believe that shit? I was like, yeah, I can. But
I was delighted. I had no idea. I had no idea any of those cameos.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
After helping Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince stop a bank robbery from Al Falcone's terrorist group gone wrong in Gotham City.
okay.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna do the
Go for it.
5DR thing.
Do 5DR.
Kind of
Have it. Jump in.
the meme of Diana Prince just showing up randomly. I think her theme makes me laugh. Like when they cut to her and they play that guitar riff that Zimmer wrote for her
for half a second.
Yes, it is. It's so shocking.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I did not like that scene. The joke, like we've already seen
the joke around it.
We've already seen the lasso joke.
Yeah.
And partially why I'm wearing this thing, I was so stoked to see a blue and gray bat suit, and they fucking ruined it with that cowl. That cowl was atrocious.
And the armor outside. If they would have
liked
done
the suit, but the cowl.
I didn't like the. I didn't dislike the segmented armor. I didn't dislike that. But the cowl made his face so puffy, and it was the cowl looked so cranky.
Yes,
it looked like it was pushing his face out.
It was doing the veil thing.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
But it was such a bummer. I would have just absolutely loved sort of like a slight tweak to his BVS suit, like the one that he's wearing, just with those color deviations. So,
but did you like the action he got to do? Because I think it was pretty good.
I thought it was all right. I mean, it was some of the better CG, I'll say.
Yeah.
But I thought the sequence was cool. Yeah, I don't know what the bottom of his shoes are made of, but
Teflon.
That was pretty
It's the same spray that they used in Vacation.
Yeah.
On the sled?
On the sled, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have just knocked his heels and the skates popped out.
Yeah.
Double click and Heelys.
Yeah.
Wrong Batman for that.
Right.
Oh shit.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed Clooney would have had that.
Oh yeah.
Like guaranteed those are in his boots. Barry Allen revisits his childhood home and remembers his youth with his parents Nora and Henry before Henry's wrongful imprisonment for Nora's murder. Overcome by his emotions, Barry accidentally uses the Speed Force to travel back in time earlier in the day and informs Bruce about it. Despite Bruce's warnings that time travel can have unintended consequences, Barry goes back to the day of Nora's death and prevents it from happening. I really like the scene between Barry and Bruce. They have like an honest little conversation, and he gives them some advice. And Barry's like, "We could hang out," and he's like,
That was the best scene of Ezra Miller in the whole movie.
I don't think so. And there is one in particular. There's one coming up that I think is better in the Batcave. That had me feeling things, for sure. We'll get there. Let's see. As Barry returns to the present, he is knocked out of the Speed Force by another speedster and ends up in an alternate 2013 where his mother is alive. He finds his past self and realizes he has arrived on the day he originally obtained his powers. Definitely taking cues from Back to the Future / Bill and Ted.
I loved the Back to the Future joke.
Yes.
But it was done a little
Marty,
much.
Marty McFly?
Yeah.
It's funny on paper.
If there would have been a poster with him on there, it would have been way better.
I think Marty McFly is funny-ish.
But
I wasn't dying.
The reference itself is genius because
it is, because it helps you understand this everything.
Exactly, because Back to the
Future
Future is the standard time travel fix something movie, and then to then reference its alternate version I thought was incredible.
That's really good. I think that's legitimately really good.
Right.
So I got to give him props for that, for sure. Barry and his younger self go to the Central City Police Department. Oh, I like the guy playing the keyboard while they're having that conversation too. I thought that was funny. When Barry forces 2013 Barry to be struck by lightning in order to recreate the accident that gave him his powers. Both Barrys end up getting struck by lightning, giving 2013 Barry his powers, but causing Barry to lose his own powers in the process. Can someone explain the reason for the tooth?
I guess because he didn't have his healing factor.
Is that what it is? Is that what it's meant to tell me?
I guess that he no longer had his healing ability. Because if you look,
why does it go in the other guy's mouth?
Because it got shot out of his head.
Yeah. No, I understand that that
the
happened,
lightning. Yeah.
But like, what's the story reason?
As to be an explanation that he lost his powers when he's unable to.
I don't think that was very clear.
Yeah.
Was that clear?
I thought it was. I mean, I kind of.
The whole thing I was thinking with that was, okay, it goes through him. He loses his, right?
Right.
He got him that way, and now he's lost him this way. I thought they were going to do something that he's now doubled 2013's powers.
Right, right.
I thought the
how
same
he
thing.
becomes as powerful as he does so fast.
Yeah. Uber, were you going to say Uber Flash?
Yeah.
Uber Flash. Yeah, it's Uber Flash.
Now,
so
I will
fast.
say something, we didn't have to have an
Fish will
explanation.
save my muta.
My motor scooter. We didn't have to have an explanation for every one of Barry's powers, and he had more of them, like the whole phasing thing.
I had a fun time with phasing.
And then some other stuff that showed up.
I thought phasing
shows
looked
up later.
Good. It didn't look bad.
That was about one of the only things that, because in all honesty, it was the shaking, and then the really big CGI part of it was, going through the molecules of the door. So, I mean, there wasn't too much to really go.
And it's easy for the animator because they just click on it and then they shake the mouse back and forth.
That's all it is.
That's all they got to do.
Yeah.
So, you're right. Yeah, that's why. Okay, fair enough.
Copy, select, record, screen,
and repeat. Yeah.
Shake it.
Control, copy, Control C, Control V. As Barry struggles to train 2013 Barry on how to properly use his powers, the two of them see a broadcast by General Zod, who is preparing to invade Earth. The Barrys attempt to assemble the Justice League, but are unsuccessful. As in this timeline, they are unable to locate Diana. Victor Stone has not yet had his accident, and Arthur Curry was never born. So what did that say about Aquaman? That he's not one of those important characters, I guess. His destiny doesn't matter. I mean, that's really what they're saying, right?
I think it was just that, and it's like certain destinies change.
But also, like, certain things have to happen. But one of those things is not that there is an Aquaman.
Right.
Okay. The art. Look, DC, we're taking your word for it.
What threw me off is because he's older than what Barry is. So that would have taken place well before anything with the Speed Force.
Or maybe he's just not born yet. Just like how Batman was different and older. I don't know.
But also, so those fixed things that have to happen, those are indicated by just the crosses in the spaghetti.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what they're implying.
It's quite possible that batch of spaghetti just doesn't have an Aquaman.
Doesn't cross with Aquaman.
There would be other noodles that have an Aquaman.
All right.
No,
stop giving me real answers to real questions.
That's actually, that's probably, that was the best way to explain it.
The actual answer.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
That's why he's the one with the cowl.
That's true. The Barrys attempt to locate, I already said that. The two travel to Wayne Manor, hoping to find Batman, but instead find an alternate, older version of Bruce Wayne, who has retired from crime fighting.
I wanted to give props on a scene. I thought a scene that played really funny was when he realizes he doesn't have his powers when he tries to run.
Yes,
smack into the wall.
His stupid run.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that they're acknowledging that his run is awful.
Stupid,
And did you notice that when they're both in action later, as full flashes, they have different runs?
Yeah.
Our Barry has like the open hand weird thing, and the other Barry he's fisting it.
Well, there's just showing that the regular Barry Allen has developed that
Right.
super run.
But I like that little attention to detail. They didn't
Yeah.
just do the same thing. That's cool.
How
Seems
would
like
you
an
run?
obvious choice.
Would
but-
you do like this?
No,
Would you run?
I would have hands a loose fist. I'd be a loose fist, I think.
Yeah, you want to do the marathon thing.
Yeah.
You waste energy gripping your.
Yeah, it would be loose. Yeah, it would be loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more of the sprinter style. So you gotta have the knife hands.
No knife hand.
T1000 style.
Yeah.
Literal knife hands.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was in Taekwondo, right, for a lot of years. And they always said, this isn't karate. Your hands are fists at all times. And it was really serious. If you did this with your hands, you would be doing knuckle push-ups. All right.
Hey, I just,
it's a fist.
I trust Usain Bolt. Dude does knife hands when he's running sprint. So
Whatever.
fastest man in.
Let him do it. He's Usain Bolt. I'm not.
Yeah.
He's gonna beat me every time. It's fine.
See, because he's doing the knife hands.
All right. You're fine. You're fine. Instead, find an alternate older version of Bruce Wayne who is retired from crime fighting. They convince Bruce to help them find Kal-El. I thought it was fun that they just let themselves into the Batcave. Start using his stuff. And the way they convince Bruce is just by kind of waiting a little while. And then I guess he gives that little speech about what exactly does he say? I kind of forget what the speech was that convinces Bruce.
Oh, when he's talking into the camera.
Yeah, I know you're watching.
He says, so you said that some timelines have to have fixed points. My Bruce Wayne also had an Alfred.
Right.
And
That
sort
is
of and uses that as like his in.
Right. All right.
Now, the one thing I thought about a lot with that version, and even if he didn't, I just don't think Bruce would have been the nomad in the house kind of person even later.
Sure he would. His one thing that he gives a shit about is punching criminals in the face.
I
loses
would have
that.
seen him. I know, but I could have seen him having, more of the mentality that he had, especially with the "my work is done" kind of thing. I would have thought, hey, maybe he looked up Vicky Vale again.
Oh, they're banging on the side. Don't worry about that.
But she would have been there.
She comes over on the weekends.
Come on.
What?
A dude with that kind of straggly looking hair ain't got a woman on the weekends.
You don't know.
She finally gave in and went out with Knox.
Yeah, that is how it was. And he gave her a Knox.
I don't get it.
Knox boots.
Yeah,
Knox boots. Isn't that the submarine movie?
Yep.
That's Das Boot.
Whatever. I don't know how computers work. Using a backdoor connection to NASA.
That's Uber Flash's favorite movie.
Yeah.
That's good. Using a backdoor connection to NASA within the Batcave, Barry and Bruce are able to locate a Kryptonian pod that was reportedly discovered in Siberia. Hang on, I want to talk about the kitchen fight. Did we talk about that enough? I like the kitchen fight. I liked hearing Chicago. I like the vibe. I like the kitchen looking just like the kitchen in the OG.
Yeah.
It just feels, it's like, oh, I know that place. It's almost like I've been in that room before. It's so burned into my mind.
The only thing I would have changed, instead of him hiding in the pantry, I would have had him hanging upside down.
He would have to be. I don't know why he wasn't.
Yeah. I thought it would have been cool if he was like up higher and he had been there the whole time, just hanging upside down. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that didn't happen. I agree. But I thought it was fun. He fights like Batman there. He's acrobatic enough. And I liked that it shows you like he's still in fighting shape. He can still do this.
Right.
He's fine. He's not like an old broken Batman.
And I like that Michael Keaton, he's like really playing up the long hair.
Right.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
kept doing
He's
the whole-
playing with it.
doing
Like,
the-
it's
Yeah.
like in an
Yeah.
SNL sketch, and he's
Yeah.
just playing with his wig. Ha! For sure. Okay. Barry and Bruce are able to locate a Kryptonian pod. Yes. Upon arrival, they instead find Kal-El's cousin. By the way, this is the best part of the movie, right?
Mm,
Everything about them going there, and he's like, want some help? Everything about them going there and his insane fighting and his kicking people and his being one step ahead of them at all times, his fighting style, you get to see a good amount of him kicking ass the way you
Right.
want to see. And it all fits to me with Batman 89.
Well, he did it definitely better in this one than in 89 or
Well, yeah, because
what
he
was
can
it,
move his
93?
neck.
I know.
yeah, it's slightly more acrobatic. Well, it's substantially more acrobatic, actually.
Yeah.
Him jumping off that thing. I think, does he say like this is gonna hurt or something?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he jumps off the railing, yeah.
Mhm. But that scene was, and I mean, this is our Brave and the Bold guy, right?
The director, yeah.
That gives me some real
That
hope
gives
there.
me a little more hope than what I had watching this movie. Because honestly, the Batman parts of it were the best to me, were the best parts of the movie.
When they get outside the compound and young Flash runs up, Keaton shoots the grappling hook, and
Right.
Barry kind of
Puts his
steps
leg-
next
Puts
to him,
his
puts
leg
his
up.
leg up. I thought that was funny, but I thought that's what we were going to get a how much do you weigh?
Right.
But then they
Yes.
bring
The
it back with
explosion
the
thing, yeah.
elevator.
Loved it so much.
Yeah.
Guys, I love that. This whole section rules.
But I love the fact that it showed his mental deduction. You know what I'm saying? Because even
Yes.
when Barry said earlier, you're the world's greatest detective, you know, so it's not just all the physical stuff. And then
Yeah.
he does the calculations in his head on the bomb to
Now,
And he
but
pulls
what
out
is
the ruler.
yeah.
what is it about this fan service that works though, compared to other
Is it
IPs?
because it works? There's a reason to have it in the story, and it's not just there to be there.
It's not just a member Barry, it actually has a purpose.
I don't
I
feel like
really-
it
I
is
think-
just fan service. I mean, it certainly could fall into that
I
category,
mean,
but
it is, but it isn't.
I don't. I
Okay.
wouldn't really count this as fan service. The cameos are. I mean,
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is the ultimate fan service.
Right.
I wanted to have some self-reflection on why am I being more kind to this than I am Han Solo or
Yeah.
something, you know, and
It's a good
Right.
question. It's a
wanna
good
make-
question.
I want to make sure that it's not just that's the one thing I love the most and you gave it to me, but
Right.
like you said, it just all works. And I thought they were, oh, that's for sure where they're going to say, how much do you weigh? And then they
Right.
drop it in an even better way.
Yes.
I thought was great. So
I think the and it was fan service to a degree, but I think what makes that different from other things that have done that, you know, other movies that have done that kind of thing is they put it in a way that actually made sense in the movie and didn't feel like just thrown in.
yeah,
It's
It
a
actually-
role. It's
it
not
was-
an appearance. It's a role.
It was an integral part of the story moving forward.
Uh-huh.
if I have one complaint with that fan service, it's that Batmobile didn't fire up.
Oh, I know.
I
You
thought for
didn't get
sure.
the
Yeah.
I thought maybe
Barry
when he
goes
was-
for pizza or something.
well, when he was looking at the files, if he said this is incomplete, and then you just cut to Keaton hopping in the car, and
Right.
One
turning-
scene. If we had 10 more minutes, one
Yeah.
scene of some thugs, having to break in somewhere and get something,
Yeah.
that would have been really cool. But I'll take what we got.
Oh,
But
for
The,
sure.
the
I agree
Batwing
with
was
you,
pretty
though.
cool
The
coming
Batwing
down.
was
Yeah.
fucking
In
cool.
front of the moon. Come on. The Benjamin Franklin bat kite.
Jeez. Yep.
But okay,
It's branding, man.
let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Is this the fan service test? If this role were not played by Keaton, would it have been as good?
I don't think so.
Then it's not just
I
fan
don't
service.
think it.
because
well, I mean,
he's crushing
it
this role.
is to bring back that nostalgia of '89.
It's just, but I think that's just
and
a
one
bonus.
of the most beloved Batman. I mean, let's be honest.
If they just said, if Keaton was never Batman and they said, hey, we got an old Batman in this, it's Michael Keaton, people will be like, sweet. It would work. It would be an interesting take on Batman. It would be a cool Batman, right?
No.
What are you talking about?
I if it wasn't Michael Keaton, then no, I don't think it would have.
No,
played
I'm
as
saying
well.
I'm saying if Michael Keaton was never Batman before.
Oh,
he gets it.
I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work.
No.
I don't think it works.
Okay. Who else could do this?
Well, I was going to ask, let's say Val Kilmer didn't have the health issues he
Right.
has, or they went to the Clooney verse. Like, does that fuck it up? Like, does that make it way too goofy? Does it work if it's a completely different actor in a completely different Batman universe that you not familiar with? Like,
yeah, it doesn't work the same.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that what I read was Nolan said no.
Yeah.
And they asked Bale and he said, hell no. But they asked Nolan first, but, or super grateful Pattinson wasn't sucked into it.
Wouldn't make any sense.
No,
not at all. But so the only one to me that feels like
that it made sense
that could work is Keaton.
Right.
So
I think he's, I mean, if nothing else, the best choice. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, the only way that I think if you would have went a different direction completely is whoever you're going to have play Batman in The Brave and the Bold. That's who you had.
Like old age makeup?
Yeah. I mean,
it's interesting. Could have been good, but not as good as Keaton.
No, and it wouldn't, I don't think we wouldn't have had as much praise for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and assuming this gets made a few years ago or gets out faster and there's not a pandemic and they don't decide to reboot the DCU, does this spark Batman Beyond? Does this
I wish
does this Keaton survive and he's beat up at the end and he sees and then he
so I was thinking
the next
about,
one, you know, but
I was thinking about the fact that he dies, right? And I was bummed. I'm like, oh, he's dead. I don't want my Batman 89 to die that way. But he's at a spaghetti point. So like there's a timeline where that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. Because Flash changes everything. So we still could have the original timeline. Look, they're doing, what are they calling it? Elseworlds?
Yeah.
Yep. They could do it Beyond Elseworlds. Yeah.
And if the response to this was better, they could put some money in front of people's faces here.
And the thing though is the response that actually is positive for this movie is Michael Keaton. I mean, the general consensus.
If DC had any sense, they would know what to do.
I mean, you know, right now that's going to fall into God's hands.
Batman Beyond. Did you say God's hands or guns?
Guns. Guns.
Does God have guns for hands?
Gun is God.
God. The gun is good. Penis is evil.
Of the DCU.
I'll wear that next time I come on the show. I'll wear my Zardoz.
I'm so happy you know Zardoz. I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
But just that you pick up on a reference of Zardoz in one line.
Yeah. Now, I had also read that when they pitched it, they wanted to do Keaton, but a backup was going to be Jeffrey Dean Morgan as
Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
Which would have been more true to the original story.
Right.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Which would have been
enjoyable.
I'm sorry, would have been perfect Flashpoint.
Not better than Keaton coming back though, but that's just the cinematic part of it.
But Flashpoint, I mean, that's but the purpose of, you know, Keaton is because it's a completely different story. If you would have went true to Flashpoint, having Thomas Wayne, having Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think that would have, if done right, I think people would have really.
Well, if we were continuing a Batman story, they maybe would have done that. But this is this isn't that. We're not coming from Batman.
I know.
We're coming from Justice League. Really?
But honestly,
the loins of Zack Snyder.
Well, and I get that. And they're trying to completely, you know, push themselves away from that. Because obviously that's why, you know, Noah Henry Cavill and Aquaman is pretty much done after his. I know.
That's why it's
I know.
baffling.
That's why it's so frustrating.
Although we haven't really talked about Kara.
Awesome.
I think she's great.
She was really good.
She,
I had my worries about it because she was more like the Sil Zorel, I think that is, which is like
sounds like a
it's an
gel that you put
alternate
on your feet.
universe. It's a Zod daughter and Superman's mother thing, and she's an alternate universe Supergirl. I thought they were gonna play that, but no, she was actually really good.
And my worry was like, how are they going to convince me that she all of a sudden gives a shit about humans and would want to fight Zod? And I thought they had a pretty good explanation for that.
Well, in a world where Clark never got to become Superman, yeah, they did it right in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
She would have been immediately,
she almost got red
so.
sunned. It almost happened. All right. Let's see here. Upon arrival, wait, what?
I was just going to say, although, can we address that beginning scene after she got, in the sun, how horrible that looked?
Which part?
The fight scene where she has the medical gown on.
Yeah, that doesn't look great.
That was god awful.
That had some Matrix Reloaded vibe to it.
That
was
bad.
It was almost as good as Matrix Reloaded looked.
Almost as good. So I mean, it's worse.
But even that scene, like I was more okay with that than the babies. And
that was
some of the. I mean, no, but that CG did not look good. No, but I know I was like, well, it is what it is.
I thought you were going to talk about when she spits and blows up the gargoyle. That pissed me off.
Me too.
It's not your house.
Yeah, you're paying for that.
This guy got you out of there.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Although he did fucking try to leave her.
Yeah,
that's true.
Say, it's kind of tit for tat on that one. Leave my ass down a gargoyle.
Upon arrival, they instead find Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El. After rescuing Kara from the facility, Barry asks Bruce to help him get his powers back by recreating the original accident. The first attempt fails and nearly kills Barry, prompting Kara to fly Barry into the storm and get struck by lightning a second time, successfully reviving his powers.
Okay, who definitely had Dr. Frankenstein vibes off of that one?
Sure. Sure. What does he say? Like, for the record, I think this is a bad idea or this is insane. What does he say? I like the line.
Something about, especially coming from me, I think it's insane.
Yeah, I like that line.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Kara and Bruce join the two Barrys to fight Zod's forces. During the battle with Zod, Kara learns that Zod intercepted the infant Kal-El's escape pod and killed him during a failed attempt to retrieve the growth codex needed to remake Earth into Krypton, or Krypton. With Zod revealing the codex was within Kara the whole time. The two fight, with Zod overpowering and killing Kara and obtaining the codex from her blood, while Bruce is also killed after being unable to eject from his Batwing after it is shot down and crashes into one of Zod's ships. I like seeing Michael Shannon back as a face in a suit.
He definitely phoned that in. That was all CGI. From what I heard, he did most of that performance in front of a green screen by himself.
I believe it.
So
just delivering menacing lines. Sorry, in this scene, you're menacing.
COVID payday, probably.
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah.
But I did think it was pretty funny, the little nod with the not being able to turn the Batman suit's cowl. There was one part where they're in the plane. Yeah, and it's all messed up, jacked up on his face.
Yeah, that was good.
That was.
But I got a really big laugh from Zora.
What if they went really hardcore, like with and this was what I was going to ask you guys, like, did they play it too safe with some of the deviations? Should they have gone a little bit more wild?
Like you see, like Batman get his spine ripped out?
No, I meant like, Into the Spider-Verse, because I haven't seen Across yet, but like Spider-Pig and Noir Spider-Man.
Oh, I see.
I thought it might have been cool if instead of Zod, it was Jor-El. Like in this universe, Jor-El was like the general of the army, and it's
Right.
Sure.
because I just love fucking Russell Crowe's Jor-El. Like
And
that's
you
my
have a
favorite
weird
part
accent.
of
Yeah.
Man of Steel is that first 20 minutes. Like I thought
Right.
that would have been cool, and then you find out that maybe like you're talking about that she is the son or she is the daughter of Zod and somebody
Yeah.
else, you know.
That would have been fun too.
You
I
know,
think
like
I think that may have been a little bit better, honestly.
But you
A
have to
little
have a
more,
certain
throwing
amount
a
of
little
things
more
that are
in
the
it.
same.
Yeah.
If you don't have a certain amount of things that are the same,
Well,
you
you
kind
know,
of lose
you
it. Right?
honestly could have went full on Red Sun into that, and you know, it was more of a Superman is the Russian secret weapon.
Yeah.
You know,
but enough
and
of the same could just be that the Kryptonians arrived.
right,
That's enough. That day Kryptonians arrive.
Yeah.
Right.
The deviation is it's a different Kryptonian. It's not Zod.
right.
But that's just wishful thinking because I want Russell Crowe and everything,
Yeah.
including Kraven 2.
Right.
Bravehearter. Kraven again. Let me think.
Ravenheart?
Craving some cheeseburgers.
Kraven.
Wes Craven.
Saving Kraven. I don't know. Saving Private Kraven. Saving Private Kraven.
That's so Craven.
That's so Kraven. Any more?
I'm done.
Chris?
No, I'm good.
All right. Moving on.
Fantastic.
The two Barrys travel back through time to save their companions, but are unable to change their fates. Barry realizes that they will not be able to save them, but 2013 Barry keeps trying, repeatedly traveling back through time, but always failing. As 2013 Barry travels, the multiverse starts to collapse in on itself. Eventually, the Dark Speedster, who originally knocked Barry out of the Speed Force, returns, and it is revealed to be the future version of 2013 Barry, who still believes he can save his world from Zod and prevent the deaths of Bruce and Kara. He explains the causal loop paradox that led to his own creation, but grows angry when Barry reveals his own intention to reverse the changes to the timeline by letting Nora die. Enraged, the Dark Speedster attempts to kill Barry, but impales 2013 Barry, who sacrifices himself to save Barry and wipes the Dark Speedster from the timeline. I like the look of the Dark Speedster.
Who else is disappointed it wasn't Reverse Flash?
I thought it was definitely going to be
you have
Reverse Flash.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
that
thought it was
wasn't
going to
Emor. That wasn't Emor Thrawn.
I'm just saying I thought that's where they were going to go, but they didn't.
Well, I know, but I mean, who was disappointed that it wasn't?
I guess I was surprised.
Do you think Reverse killed his mom?
I don't, and see, that's
why
just it. I don't know if it actually was in this.
That's for future Flash movies that we're definitely going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not going to get.
We're getting them. I checked.
Well,
why
it
would
won't
they
be Miller?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I think this, as Bones was saying earlier, the bummer of the whole thing is like it just seems like this is all just for fun. Yeah, because this is it.
Well, and I think
it need to be. Does it need to be building a whole universe? Can we just enjoy this damn movie?
But you've had the issue of connecting all these movies for so long.
It's the bow on top. It's the cherry on top of the thing you have a cherry on.
It's the price sticker on the bottom you can't scrape off.
Oh, God damn, that's good.
Anyway,
let Bones talk.
I personally think that it should have been Reverse Flash, and if it was going to be, because this was being made pre-gun, pre-everything else. It's been pushed back 3 years, 4 years,
quite a while,
almost. It should have been a reveal that it was Reverse Flash, and him confessing, "Well, I killed your mother. This is this paradox in time." Not basically, essentially, him killing his own mother. And that's the way this made me feel. So,
all right, that's fair. I think that's a fair complaint.
I have 2 comments.
Go for it.
Number 1. So anytime you're dealing with time travel and multiple timelines, multiverse, and you get into these paradoxes. Now, I love Terminator. Terminator itself is a paradox, but I was trying to visualize what this paradox would look like with the spaghetti noodle, and I just
Right.
assumed, is this noodle looped around the other noodle? Like, is that what
It's like a
there's
Twizzler.
Oh no.
there's like enough junctions in that's where it allowed that paradox to jump off? Because I do think it's a cool thing that he sort of created it and then it kills itself. That
Yeah.
I can't recall seeing a piece of media where, you know, the paradox kills itself off somehow.
Have you seen not Looper? Have you seen
Primer?
Primer is what I was going to say. Yeah.
It's been years, man.
Okay.
Years. And whenever you watch something like this, that always comes up of like, that's the peak of
Here's
that.
the 10 best time travel movies.
Yeah. Second comment, Chris, I agree with you that when you go into these movies, you're sort of trained now. What are the cameos going to be? What are you
Right.
setting up? All of this, like, so you should have this connection. And I think the thing that I'm most upset at is the fact, like, I get that you come out and you say, we're starting over.
Right.
But when you make that decision, I think it's only fair to the people that have stayed with you for 10 years, the talent included, the writers included, more importantly, the audience, and the weird people that convinced you to spend a bunch of money to put out a 4-hour Zack Snyder cut, and the people that are showing up for this.
Right.
We should have gotten some sort of end Justice League movie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
should have been one before 2 more movies where
Absolutely.
where you really send these people off. You
Yeah.
give, and as much as I am not a fan of Wonder Woman, I love Cavill, but his movies stink. So they should have just announced we're going to do 2 big final Justice Leagues, and
Right.
this should have led into that, and an Aquaman, and let's actually send off Superman correct, you
Right.
know, and while you're doing that in tandem, you can be planning the next phase.
Yeah.
And it's such a bummer because you watch this, you ask all these questions, but ultimately the answer is like, well, who the fuck cares? Because it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just watching it for this 2-hour piece of medium, and that's
Oh,
it. That's it.
absolutely.
So
I felt that way the whole time. It's like, where's the Batman movie? Like, there isn't even
Right.
a Batman movie in this.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. One Superman movie, one
good one. One where, you know, and the thing I say about Cavill, yeah, I think he is probably one of the best Supermans. I mean, he is Superman, but his movie did not do the Superman character justice.
I like Man of Steel. It's not my
I
favorite.
mean,
I do
it's
like
fine.
it. Like, I watched it today.
It's
and I was
fine,
like,
but
some of this is pretty good.
he's not the Superman that Superman in that movie is not who Superman is.
The scene when he turns himself in and he's in the handcuffs and he's like, well, whatever, it makes him feel better. And he's talking to him through the wall and he like knows everything and he just takes him off. I don't know. I like parts of that movie. There's some good Superman in there. It's not the best Superman thing.
is he just awful to work with?
I
I've
think
never heard
he's
this.
actually a big nerd and wants to be true to the character.
I did hear this
Okay.
about The Witcher.
And that's
that
and I mean that's, you know, because even when they said that, you know, when they came back before, you know, they decided not to bring him back, he's like, this is the Superman that I always wanted, who was about hope, who was about, you know, the things that everyone knows about Superman, you know, and then he didn't get it. So I think the problem is you've got, in my opinion, you've got a lot of writers that have egos, and they're like, well, and directors that are like, I want this my way. It doesn't matter what all the source material is, you know, especially with something that you've got, you know, almost a century of, you know,
There's
and
some
we're
amazing
just gonna do
Superman
it different.
stories
Yeah.
Yeah.
that need to be in film form and art.
Yeah.
If that's the case, more power to him for like not compromising on that stuff.
Right.
And I hope he finds himself in a property or an IP somewhere where he can help guide it correctly.
Well,
where he's
Warhammer
not.
seems to be
see.
that.
That seems
Yeah,
to be
it's-
right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he will never be Bond. You know, maybe he'll just
Yeah.
be like, I feel like I really should slap this lady and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't do that now, you know?
If it's a period movie,
we got
Yeah.
him as Bond in The Man from Uncle.
Yep.
Let's be honest. I mean, he was Bond in that movie.
hey, I got to finish reading this. We got one more
Okay.
paragraph. In the aftermath, Barry undoes the changes he made to the timeline and comes to terms with his. It says undoes. Undoes.
Proofread. That would
No,
drive my wife
does say-
absolutely ape shit.
No, I agree, but it does say undoes here.
That's what
so
I
that
mean.
needs to be changed. Anyway, the changes he made to the timeline and comes to terms with his mother's death. However, he makes a minor change in the past, creating new evidence in the present day that proves Henry's innocence. After returning to the present and helping exonerate him, Barry is contacted by Bruce, whose appearance has changed once again as the result of Barry's timeline change. In a post-credits scene, Barry tells a drunken Arthur Curry about his experiences traveling the multiverse. A pointless after-credit scene.
Yeah.
Absolute waste of time.
Apparently, that scene was much longer.
They have a sleepover?
Well, he gets him to the apartment, and at one point, on the computer, Bruce comes on, and it's not Affleck. And it's like, things aren't right. What have you done, Barry? And that's where it ended. You know, and they had, and I was talking about earlier, that final scene with the new Batman, which was George Clooney.
So good.
They filmed that
felt so
three
good.
different times at three different people.
Okay.
The first one was before the huge firings that took place when Zaslav took over, which had Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck in it. That they all meet.
They all get out of a limo?
Well, no, they all meet there in front of the courthouse.
Hmm.
And then once Zaslav took over, and I forgot who was doing it at the time, it was Michael Keaton and the girl that plays Supergirl, Sasha. I can't remember her last name, but anyway, that was in the second one, and then they scrapped that when they scrapped Batgirl and filmed the George Clooney one as just a nod to that era of Batman.
I think that's the coolest choice. Plume Dog.
I actually had that question. That how would they have connected it to Batgirl, because he was in it for 5 minutes, right?
Right.
So what do you think? Absolute piece of trash or legitimate write-off?
I think it was I mean, it was definitely from everything that I've heard, an absolute just dumpster fire of a movie.
I've heard conflicting things. It's really hard to say. It's so hard. I want to watch it.
Brendan Fraser as
Firefly.
Yeah.
He would have been interesting, but
in the whale makeup.
Yeah.
Just barely getting off the ground.
Well, if you saw the costume, it honestly wasn't much different than the Batman Riddler costume.
Oh, okay.
But with goggles and a flamethrower.
See, I hope that means that he's safe for Elseworlds, because he's a great
he's a great character.
Villain, you know? Like that's in terms of groundedness, you know?
Right.
Just an arsonist that works for the mafia destroying stuff, you know?
And
like
that's very possible. I mean,
that would be really good. Yeah.
A 20-minute opening of him just sort of fighting him, and then kind of sets tone.
Quickly, speaking of arson, this is so not related. I watched a movie last night. I found it on YouTube. It's a 1977 made-for-TV horror movie starring Harrison Ford called The Possessed. Have either of you guys seen this?
I haven't seen it, but I saw the thing for it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and decent enough quality to watch. And if you want to see Harrison Ford, literally the year of Star Wars, doing something else, it's pretty fun. It's not a good movie, But I bring that up because you said arson, and it's a movie about like a demonic possession, I guess. But until the very end, there's no demon, there's nothing like that.
Right.
The only thing that shows you that evil is around is that like things catch on fire.
Okay.
So like fires will start in rooms and you don't know why, and it's like this malevolent, and there's this feeling, but there's no like going on. There's no demon person till the very end. There is some of the funniest demon acting I've ever seen, by the way. Very funny. Like weird guttural growls and like it's not scary. It's pretty funny. So yeah, definitely recommend the made-for-TV film The Possessed for people who want to watch something like that. It's on YouTube. Anyway, Batman, The Flash. If I had to say, should you see it or should you not see it? You should definitely see it if you're a DC fan. If you care about Keaton Batman, if you want to see the end of this weird run of DC movies, I guess.
Well, I guess technically Aquaman, that's going to come out the end of the year, is really the end of this run.
Oh, I was like, why the hell are they calling Jango Fett? I'm like, who the hell is Jango? Why is Jango Fett in this? And then apparently he's an Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
There's that moment when don't they call him? They call him trying to get.
Yeah, because he's actually Aquaman's dad. He was the lighthouse keeper.
That.
Yeah.
I watched Aquaman blasted in a hotel room. I don't remember anything about it.
I never saw it.
Yeah, he's Aquaman's dad.
I didn't like it at all. But I like Jango Fett and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So fun to see him. Old Tamura. But no, I give it a thumbs up. I had a fun time in the theater.
I'll let you go, Bones.
I was going to say this might be the only DC movie I would rewatch of this last run. Maybe I could maybe watch Man of Steel again.
And I think you should.
I really do. I really do love that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if only for Keaton member berries, it's pretty great. I think it could have been a hell of a lot messier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing that I would say is better would be the Snyder cut, because that's at least like full creative consistency. While I don't dislike it, or while I don't really like it, I respect the hell out of it. Where this, I just the fact that it's taken so long and it's had so many fingers in the pie.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn miracle that it came out as coherent as it
I
did.
agree with that.
No, yeah.
I forgot to tell you guys the scene that I was alluding to, the Barry scene that I thought was really good, was in the Batcave, and it's when our Barry is telling Bruce that 2013 Barry doesn't know anything about the mother dying, and then they have that argument. Or I think the argument's before that, but the argument scene was really like, I really connected with that scene. I really liked it. I thought that was excellent, and the CG between the two Ezra Millers was fine. Like that CG was fine. It was seamless.
That was probably the only thing they worked on the hardest.
It was good. That worked out.
I mean,
but the whole Barry saying like, you don't know anything. You haven't been through anything. You just think you're so cool and you're just an asshole, and you're annoying, and you have no self-awareness. I weirdly needed to be told that in my life more than once. Not weird. If you've known me through the years, I've needed to hear that a few times. So for me, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. And I thought it was really good. And I thought it was a proper character development that I really liked. So that worked for me.
I'm not going to say that I completely hated it, but I guess, it's kind of DK's on the more really liked it. Bones are definitely kind of in between, and I'm more on the fact that the only reason I really had any like for this movie was Keaton.
He's what bought the ticket for me.
Yeah.
He's what
He's
got me
the
in the door.
only thing that bought the ticket for me.
Mm-hmm. But I found that I didn't hate the Flash stuff, which is just as much a surprise to me.
Yeah. Man, it was done. That whole concept was done so much better, honestly, with Quicksilver. It really does. Anything with the, that speedster, I know it's completely different with the whole Speed Force connection. And can we say that the Injustice suit did not look good? I was not a big fan of the Injustice suit, Barry's
I don't hate it.
ring suit.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, in live action, it didn't. I didn't think it really looked that great. So
just looked bad. That was the problem. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Just the actual look of it itself. I wasn't a big fan of the design.
Aesthetically, I thought the design was cool. It just the CG was just so bad. It looked so rounded at times. Like,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they would have made made an actual, well, I mean, the whole thing is his whole suit was CGI. So it's like if they would have come up with some kind of practical version and then overlaid some of the CGI on it.
Is that where they shot all the scenes nude?
Mm-hmm.
It's Ezra Miller, so it very well could have been. And
it made me appreciate the Pattinson suit so much.
Yes,
I can agree there.
Much.
Yeah,
but I thought it was great to see the OG Batman suit pretty much in its original form, looking great. To this day, it works on camera.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
The scenes when he's kicking ass in Siberia, I love. That's my favorite part of the movie. I think Batman on a mission.
Right.
That's all I need.
Everybody just needs to give Tim Burton 10% more leeway now.
Yeah.
Right. Like let's just ease up. Yeah, let's just ease up off on him a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
I've still really fallen out of love with Tim Burton. Like when I was a kid, Tim Burton was my dude. Favorite. Through Sleepy Hollow. And then just more and more things. I was like, what the? I don't like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't like.
You don't like his Planet of the Apes?
No, not really. And I like the old movies, but I don't love them. They're just, this is not my franchise. I don't know what it is.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was about the only one that I really didn't like.
But what if it was Charlton Heston and the Chocolate Factory? You damn delicious apes.
You're not taking this chocolate bar out of my cold dead hands.
I'd watch
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
You bastards.
You drank fizzy lifting drink.
That's really good. That's really good.
Is it time?
I'll say definitely watch it, but I mean, can I legitimately recommend it? Not if you're going expecting a lot out of it. So
I feel like I got a lot out of it. There's a lot to get.
Mm.
And I will say, given the box office numbers and when I bought my ticket, there was a lot of open seats. And I thought, no, this thing's going to sink.
Yeah.
And then when I sat down, the thing filled up.
Oh, really?
Like, well, I thought, well, shit, maybe Sundays will turn around. Maybe everybody waited for Father's Day or something. But
what time did you go?
It was like a 2:55 showing.
Yeah, I saw it at 2:00. Yeah.
I went to the 7:00 show. There were 20 people in the whole theater.
Yeah, there were about 20,
and that was last
25
night.
at mine.
Yeah.
On Sunday at 2 p.m. So
yep.
In a tiny town.
Sunday movie always weirds me out. I don't know.
Well, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually one of those, if you go later, it's going to be not as crowded. If you do that after church, mid-afternoon kind of thing, wherever, especially if it's a semi-family movie, then you may get that crowded.
There were a lot of people in the lobby, and I was like, oh, shit, it's going off. And then they all walked into Transformers. It's funny.
See, Chris, if I go to the movies after church, I end up losing all my money because I end up putting it in the popcorn whenever my wife hands me the popcorn. I just instinctively think it's church collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have it in an envelope so it doesn't get as buttery, you know?
Okay.
It's just a pro tip from a pro.
No,
Okay.
yeah. It's a pro tip from a pro.
Bones, tell people where they can
of-
find you.
I will. One second. Now, have you guys heard anything of about Transformers?
Um,
And this is going to be a spoiler too.
It takes place in the 90s, I think.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And it's Beast Wars. I know that.
yeah. It's a combination.
The gorilla looked pretty cool.
Shove the cube into my chest, Sam.
You know, that's the one thing. The Transformers still look pretty damn cool.
Sam.
And Optimus is the OG cartoon
Seriously,
version.
Sam.
Well, there you go. You're in it now.
Yeah. But yeah, they are the like cartoon versions, because this is like out of the Bumblebee universe.
I didn't see Bumblebee.
I didn't either, which I've heard is not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Okay.
It's really not. But there is a possibility of them making a multi franchise combination.
Like G.I. Joe and Transformers?
Yes, Duke is in the very end of it.
What?
Spoiler.
That's cool.
Duke is in the end of it.
I wish I was like 14. Then I would be so hyped.
Was The Rock Duke in
No, Channing Tatum was Duke.
Okay. So
Rock was Roadblock, I think.
Okay.
Roadblock.
So is it Channing Tatum or is it a
okay. Totally different guy.
Recast.
It's not Duke Nukem, is it?
No. Nope. It's not Cena or anything.
Okay.
I wish it was Duke Nukem.
What was it?
CG
the same,
Duke Nukem.
Was it the same toy company? Was that Hasbro or
Yes.
Hasbro.
Yep.
All right.
Hasbro.
So did they also do Masters of the Universe?
I think so.
Was Masters of the Universe Mattel or Hasbro?
No, I think it's Hasbro. I'm really sure.
Mask is also
that's
Hasbro.
Hasbro.
You get He-Man in there. I'm all for that shit.
No, god damn it.
Mattel.
Hang on. Created by Mattel. Yep.
Shit. I thought so.
Yeah, okay. They can get Mattel.
But like I said,
Hasbro
Mask.
can get is Mattel still around?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did they just make board games now?
Duke of the cube in my you know where.
There's been a terrible accident. I've just been rear-ended by Optimus Prime.
I don't have insurance.
All right.
Please, Bones, tell the people.
This thing's getting hot, man. I don't know how
I
to do
can't
it.
believe you wore it the whole time. You're
I'm committed,
trooper.
dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell people about the 5 Day Rentals podcast and how good it is.
Just another movie podcast. Watch along. Come for the movies, stay for the cold opens and the camaraderie, man. Just movie riffing, going through plots, breaking stuff down, doing what we can to compile what we consider the big board. As of this record, when are you dropping this? Today? Tomorrow?
I'll drop it as soon as we're done, baby.
Okay, so as of this record, we've got so next week we'll have a giant rewind. The last of season 1. Our season lasted 114 episodes.
That's insane.
I can tell you we had some guests on and they did some major changes to the list. Earth-shattering ranking changes. So
it better be Punisher
prepare for
Warzone
that.
going to the top 10.
We'll see.
Okay.
Our rules are there for a reason, DK, and it's a bummer, but I have to live by them.
Okay. I respect
We'll be
that.
taking a little bit of a break soon. So if you have not caught up with 5 Day Rentals, July and August will be a perfect time to catch back up. We're going to take a few weeks off, and then we'll come back with another Thunder in Paradise, which is also the box set mini series that we've been doing. And DK,
Awesome.
you've been kind enough to come in and spend 5 hours on a Thursday.
Having a great time.
And
those are legitimately so much fun. I was listening to the most recent one, and I had a few drinks that night, and I had forgotten a few things, and there were a couple of things that made me laugh so hard. Just literally today, I was laughing. Some of the things that were said there. A lot of diarrhea talk in that episode.
I don't think that was our fault though. That was
I know
that was new guy's fault.
It was all me.
But yeah, check us out. And yeah, I'm in the Nerds Geeks Discord, so obviously you should be in there, and I'll play around with you.
We'll go in the 5-Day Rentals Discord, guys.
Yeah,
gals, others, get in there. Yeah, join the Discord, follow us, whatever, Twitter. The Discord is where it should be. I don't care that much about the other ones, but come to the Discord, hang out with us. Bones, thank you so much for being here.
Yep.
At such short
Definitely
notice.
Appreciate it.
I don't know how to give you proper notice. I'm sorry. I don't know how. But
you texted, "Have you seen The Flash yet?" And I looked up at my wife and I said, "I think I'm getting ready to go on Nerds Geeks." she went, "What?" I was like, "I'm wondering if maybe Chris has like a cheer competition or something this week, and they need me to step in." But I'm always happy to. So until you hear from the fans that that they don't like me here, until then, I'll keep.
You're the Batman guy. Anytime Batman's in it, you're getting invited.
Yeah, they still put up with me, so that'll be fine with you.
Okay. But
all right, everyone.
I'm stoked for Penguin, man.
Yes.
Is that?
I think we're delayed though.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to still this year though?
Yep.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on how long. I think they got when they were filming. I think they got like 3 or 4 episodes in before they stopped. So.
Then they ran out of fish to give him.
Well, drugs went dry.
Okay. All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. See you guys.
Later.